Welcome back to another Flipping Tables. We have another Kickstarter prototype for you here today. This is an expansion to the game 13 Monsters. And this is 13 monsters armed to the teeth. This takes the base game and adds armor and weapons and such to the base game of 13 Monsters. Now, we're not going to be talking about the base game. There's plenty of videos out there if you'd like to see how to play the base game of 13 Monsters. We're going to be looking at just what this brings to the table. And this is a Kickstarter campaign going on now or very, very soon. I can't remember the date. It is definitely going on soon. So check that out. And also check out the link up there for the interview with the creator of 13 Monsters. We spoke to him about the game. But let's take a look at what this game brings to, what this expansion brings to the base game. Yeah. So as the normal game, it's a game of memory where you're actually flipping over, just like a game of memory, you're flipping over 2 cards at a time in turn, and you're trying to collect sets of monster parts, the feet, the face, and the head of a monster, so that you actually build a full monster. That is essentially what the base game is about. Again, we're not going into all the details, but once you have that set, and you have built yourself a full-on monster, you now have the ability to get this little guy, Troll, into your court. Once you, if you are the last player to create a monster set, you get Troll. He comes along.
Running.
He runs along, and he's like, I want to help you. He's an armorer, and you now have the ability to roll these dice.
These new die, so these are the forged die. So you'll roll those, and based off of what you're rolling, that's a great roll.
That's a great roll. So this armor, anvil. The anvil, you roll anvil. So he rolled 2, 3, 4, 5 anvils. He can now choose any one of these 3 piles.
Right. So it's 2 for your basic armor, 3 for your metal monsters, and 4 for your weapons.
So you have the ability each turn, as long as Troll is in your court, you can start drawing basically armor for your creature, for your monster, and you can place that armor, like this is the feet armor, so you can place that on him. This is the middle armor, and this is the head armor. You can completely armor your monsters and give them extra value. For example, this guy up here, it gives +2 defense. So if you're rolling for defense, you can now add 2 to your defensive roll. And this one gives you +1 defense and +1 attack. And the head armor piece gives you +2 attack. So when you're attacking other players, you can also roll and select weapons that you can then...
weapons would be
this is the 3... Yeah, my apologies. Weapons. You can attach weapons.
The shield and a sword.
Yep. So we have now extra defense and extra offense. Each of these have slots on them. You would take these tiny durability tokens. You place them on your armor and on your weapons. And each time you use that weapon, it's going to drain that token, and once there are no tokens left on it, you actually lose that weapon. It goes back into the pile.
Yeah.
But basically, armed to the teeth, very simply, is as it states. It allows you to arm your monsters after creating them. You're not just creating monsters and attacking each other. You are now protecting your monster, giving it better armor, better defensive abilities, better attack abilities. Now there's a third option.
It's a third option. Yeah, so one of the other options that you now have is you can actually draw from the monster pile. So these are the metal monsters.
The metal monsters.
So these are not in the regular tableau where you have to have memory, thank goodness. And you can just use this so as you're using your forge and build a metal monster. You cannot put armor on a metal monster. They're already metal monsters. But it does give you victory points as well as the ability to full-on attack as well.
You can also take the metal monster pieces, and if you don't have a full monster, so if this wasn't in play, you can attach the metal piece to your other monster. and you still now have a full monster, even though part of it is metal.
Correct. You just don't get the benefits of being able to put the feet armor on that monster.
Exactly. And along with all of these things, there's extra abilities. There's a fun ability called Oopsie Poopsie. It's an odd name, but basically, if you're matching, you go back to the original game. If you're matching pieces, and you're like, I know where that piece is. I'm looking
the first
for.
One.
You're like, I'm sure this is the 8. It's like, oopsie poopsie, that's not the one.
Pretend it didn't happen.
Pretend that didn't happen. I can now start my turn again and choose another 2 pieces from the board. Keeping in mind, this one is no longer available to you for that turn. You've called oopsie poopsie on this piece. You cannot select it again. Even if one of the ones you turned over is the matching piece, you've already eliminated that from you. So there's a few more options given to you in your turn order and all the actions you're allowed to take on your turn with this game. But ultimately, what Armed to the Teeth brings you is the armor.
Armor and the weapons.
Like being able to completely armor your monster and give it attack and defensive abilities against the rolling. So if I'm rolling for attack and I roll,
you actually can't attack an armored thing. You have to disarm.
You have to disarm. But if I'm attacking, let's see, I'm not rolling very good here at all. But let's pretend I rolled, 3 6s. Okay? So I've got an 18. That's my 18. You're going to defend again. But because I have a weapon, that's 18 plus 3 here. So that's actually 19. Plus the 2 from this armor is 21. You now have to defend against 21.
Yeah, so hopefully I've got some similar type armor on my my creature that I'm defending with, so I can add some of these bonuses up as well.
Yeah. Very simply, that is what this brings to the table. There's lots of different armor. Here's an armor. This was the fire set, but we also have am I putting this wrong? Here we go. This is the water set. Let's get these out of the way. There's a cool water bow and a shield. So there's different elements as well with the armor sets.
You certainly can.
You can mix and match
your sets as well. They still will give you those bonuses. Your scoring at the end, if you have a proper themed set, will get you more points at the end of the game.
Yeah. So very simply, that's it. That is 13 Monsters Armed to the Teeth, and it is coming to Kickstarter right about now. So go check it out. If you love 13 Monsters, if you have this game, you definitely want to add this. I do believe you definitely want to have this in the game. It really does extend the base game. It adds a lot to the base game. Check it out. It's on Kickstarter now. Or soon.
Eventually.
Or
it already happened if you're watching this later.
Probably.
Yeah.
Check it out. Thanks, everyone. Hey. How you doing?
All right. There's a button. It's slightly below Sean, I think. Yeah. And you should press that button.
It's below you too.
Is it below me too? Oh, well, there's a button. It's down there. It says subscribe.
You should do that.
Press the button.
Thanks
if you can't read.
And check out those other videos too.
All of them. But just the button. It starts with an S.
It's too long. 20 seconds.